Hello guys, welcome back to Money Sense with Miss T. My name is Thendo Dlo and I am your coach. And on today's episode, I will be taking you on a journey of reflecting on the first 90 days of my 2024. Yes, the first quarter of the year is gone, guys. We are officially in the second quarter of the year. And I don't want you to stress, guys, if you've got nothing to show for the first quarter of the year, at least relative to the things that you wrote down and the things that you have on your vision board. If there is still life in you, if there is still breath in you, there is still a chance for you to pick yourself up and keep going, right? And the reason I'm strategically and intentionally doing this exercise with you is because of a concept that I learned from a book. I think it's titled, and I'll flag it up here, The 12-Week Year, that talks about the importance of periodically, assessing and monitoring where you are versus where you want to go, instead of waiting for, the end of the year to only look at the things that you said you wanted to do. So today, as you can see, it's very chilled. I'll just be going through 5 things that I want to, intentionally reflect on. And the first one is the things that I am grateful for. So one thing I'm grateful for, one habit, one win, one book, and one scripture. And please stay till the end of the video. There is something to welcome, the community that has just been onboarded now, just to celebrate, the 1,000 subscribers, the 1,000 plus rather subscribers that we have. There is a giveaway, so please stay till the end of the video to take part in that. And this brings me to my second reflective point, which is the one habit that I feel sort of caused me to, achieve my goals. So one of my goals for the first quarter of the year was to reach 1,000 subscribers, right? 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if you remember one of the videos that I did, which I will flag here, I spoke about the fact that when you set goals, guys, it's so important to not leave it at daydreaming and not leave it as a picture on a vision board, but to always marry your goals, to marry the things that you want to achieve with a habit, right? That is the thing that you are going to do habitually, the thing that you are going to do consistently, the thing that you are going to do every day, every week, every month, every quarter. You catch my drift, right? So I needed to then sit back and ask myself, okay, my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, just as an example. There are many things that I can possibly do to get myself there, right? But I wanted to focus on the things that were within my control, which was showing up every single Monday at 12 o'clock South African Standard Time. And I did it consistently, guys. I showed up. I may have not shown up 100% of the time, but I think I must have gotten like 90%. I must have missed maybe 2 Mondays, right? But I just purposed in my heart that I was going to stand on business. I was going to consistently show up every single Monday with a video drop. And what that did for me is that I started to see the numbers go up on every single Monday. When I dropped a video, that was the time when I would actually get the most number of subscribers on the analytics tool, right? And the thing that this taught me was that the more you show up, guys, the more you grow up, and the more the things that you are wanting to achieve, the more you start to see them actually actualizing or actually materializing. So that's just something to encourage you to just reframe, if you have not already done so, when it comes to the goals that you want to achieve, to always ask yourself, have I married this goal with something that I am going to do habitually? And the third reflective point is one win in the first quarter. And I remember actually raising it on one of my social media platforms, either LinkedIn as well as WhatsApp, saying that this is actually one of the 100 things that made my year. And it is basically how 60 seconds, guys, landed me an opportunity to now start doing webinars and financial education workshops with, almost 170 undergraduate and postgraduate students from a university in the UK. But that is not where the story began, right? So the year is 2021 and I am probably like 4 months pregnant with my first son, and I have now flown out back to South Africa because it's my sister's wedding. And I remember very well, I was sitting with my grandparents, bringing them up to speed, with what's going on. We're still in COVID, so it's still very, it's still a very, hectic season, where COVID is concerned. So I'm bringing them up to speed in terms of what Money Sense is about, what it does, how the South African market has been receptive to the work that I do, and that I've got a few clients here and there, but I'm really, really struggling with landing the message with the UK market, and even getting clientele in the UK, right? And my grandfather, who is a businessman, who is well-traveled. He even studied here in the UK and in the US. He immediately says, "No, Hannah, this is very easy. Just knock on every door of every UK university." And you guys, as soon as he said that, something in my stomach just started turning. He literally just stressed me out. And I just recall having this mental dialogue of, but excuse me, who am I? Like, no one knows me in this country. I am a foreigner. Like, I don't even have a UK university degree. Like, who is going to listen to me? So all of this is happening to me. And I actually think that is why, low-key, I've always felt like, I feel like I need to have a UK a university degree of some sort, right? In one of my videos, I may have mentioned that I want an MBA from, Oxford University or Cambridge University. And I think perhaps maybe some of where that comes from is this complex or this imposter syndrome that I've had around working with, clients of that nature in this country. But anyway, we close that chapter. Life goes on. And now we are in 2023, and I find myself having subscribed to an entrepreneurship accelerator with one of the big banks in the UK. And one of the exercises that we needed to do in the first month was to pitch, right? So I find myself on stage in front of so many people, like investors, customers, suppliers, university reps, government reps, like, you can imagine the list is endless, right? It's a room full of people, and I have the opportunity now to sell Money Sense in 60 seconds. What is the problem? What is your solution? Why do you think you are the best person for this job, right? So I do that, and obviously I blow them away. And after that session, and after everyone obviously presented, then I had the opportunity to then speak to the university reps, and that's how I ended up with the opportunity to start doing the work that I'm doing now with the university, right? And I think this also then brings me to the fourth level, or rather the fourth thing that I want to reflect about, right? One lesson that I have learned in the first quarter is that, guys, we need to prepare for the rooms that we want to step into, right? So when my grandfather said that I should knock on every door of every university in this country, I was not ready for the opportunity, right? I was definitely not ready for the opportunity. But at some point, I knew that this is something that I want to achieve. This is a goal, or this is vision. This is a goal that I really, really want to achieve at some point in time, right? And what I then decided to do was to work on, and I'm repeating, the controllables, the things that I can control. I can't control when the opportunity will arise. I can't even manipulate, right, making this opportunity happen. So I decided, and purposefully decided, that, okay, I'm not going to do the knocking. I'm not going to do the pursuing, but I'm going to do the inner work. I'm going to work on my delivery. I'm going to work on my content. I'm going to work on getting so good with what I'm doing. And I'm also going to work on, once I've presented and once I've delivered my content, I'm also going to work on, getting the feedback loop from the individuals and the organizations that I'm currently working with, right? And what that has done is that what that did, or what that continues to do, is that now I'm becoming more and more confident, right? I'm becoming more and more confident, and that doubt and that imposter syndrome is slowly shrinking, because the more I worked on my craft, the more I worked on my delivery, the more I worked on, being able to communicate my value, the more I become, and also working on the feedback loop, right? The more I become confident with what I do, the more I become confident with this product, such that, guys, when the opportunity came for me to stand on stage and present in 60 seconds what I do, right, I was ready for the opportunity, and I was ready to get into that. I was ready to get into something that, in 2021, when it was thrown for me, I didn't have the faith to believe for it. I didn't even have the capacity to do, the thing that I was envisioning I would actually be able to do. You can't control an open door. You can't control when an opportunity will arise. But what you can control is working on your craft. What you can control is becoming better and better over time. All right. And the fourth thing that I will be reflecting with you guys today is one book that I read in this quarter that shifted the needle for me. And that has to be Show Me Your Work by Austin. And I'll just flag it up for you guys, or put it in the description box if you are interested in reading it. And what this book helped me with, guys. So I am Venda culturally, right? And what this means is that I'm socialized to not talk about myself, not brag, not talk about what I'm doing, not talk about how good I am at something, right? Where I come from culturally, right? You wait to be told. So you don't speak when you're not spoken to, right? You wait to do something good, and then someone else will tell you basically whether you're doing well or not, right? And then the sad part is that now you enter the world of work, or you enter the world of business, right? And this thing that you grew up with, this thing that you're socialized to, now no longer serves you in this particular space, right? You are in an environment where actually keeping quiet and not talking about what you are doing, not talking about what you are thinking, not talking about what you are good at or what you did, is actually perceived as you being passive, right? So in this instance, your work does not speak for yourself. You need to give your work voice. You need to speak for your work, right? Now you're completely conflicted, right? And if you are in that space, right, I've obviously had to do a lot of work on myself to move myself to the other side where I'm no longer now perceived as passive. I would recommend that you read this book. This book will help you start to unpack, these cultural tendencies that are not going to serve you going forward, guys. And the other thing that this guy actually encourages is that when you are building something, whether you're building a personal brand, a business, you're wanting to sell something, you're building yourself up in corporate, right? Don't wait to become an expert and have this final product and then only start sharing about it, right? You want to take people on a journey, right? Because people appreciate journeys. People appreciate seeing you, going through your ups and downs, or going through your learnings and your wins, right? Before you get to producing this thing that you are working towards. And I actually thought about what that meant, especially when we think about, the world of social media, right? I actually appreciate, watching content where I'm watching someone, at least cook a meal, just as an example, or show us, their cupboard from the point where, it was all messy and now it's like neatly done, right? I aspire to those things because I don't think I'm naturally good at cooking and, putting things together and neatly. So I like that kind of content, and I like the journey that, these content creators take me through. So anyway, the point is, don't wait to become an expert, or don't wait to become perfect before you start communicating your value, before you start sharing the work that you do, because people are people and they connect with people, and they understand that in order for you to have this successful business that you are building, there has to have been a journey, right? And that is what I'm also trying to do on this platform, to take you on my journey of building a business, right? And I hope you are definitely appreciating this. And lastly, he says that when you do that, right, you just never know. When you learn something and you teach it to someone, you just never know the difference you're making in someone else's life, right? And I think the final loop is that the reason you are sharing your work, not your family, you on holiday, not all of that stuff, those fluffy things that we do, right? But showing your work, right? When you do that, guys, you are basically, you're not doing it for selfish reasons. You're doing it for the reason of helping someone else. You're doing it for the reason of just raising someone else's awareness. You're also doing it for the reason of just uplifting someone else who may be thinking of doing the thing that you are doing. Okay, and then the last one is the one scripture that sort of held me together in the first quarter of the year, and it's found in the book of Judges, and it is the story of Gideon. And this is a story that I think reminds us that God does not need much, right, in terms of numbers, and you can insert whatever it is that you have an inadequacy in order for him to get you on the other side, then the other side is victory, right? So in this story, I'm going to also very quickly summarize so that I can also afford you the opportunity to go and read it for yourself, make sense for yourself, and just apply it in your own life, right? Depending obviously on the season that you are in. So an angel appears to Gideon and he says, "Thus saith the Lord," right? "You are going to deliver the children of Israel from the hands of the Midianites," right? And then as soon as the angel says that, Gideon is just like, "Excuse me, do you know who I am?" And as I'm saying this, I want you to imagine the things that you have, you have doubted, or the questions that you have asked God when he has said, "Yeah, this is what I am giving you. This is the land or the opportunity that I'm giving you. This is where I'm taking you." Or if you don't really know how to hear from God, that still small voice or that impression, however it is that you access the things that you want to achieve that are a bit bigger than you, when that has happened, I'm sure you've had instances where you've asked yourself, "But excuse me, do you know who I am? Do you know where I come from?" Gideon then also says, "I come from a very small family. I am the smallest in my family. My tribe is also the smallest, in this community. Like, why on earth would you call me, God, to deliver the children of Israel?" Anyway, because of his doubt and unbelief, he starts testing God, right? Asking him to do this to confirm that it is really him who is asking him to deliver the children of Israel. Long story short, he gets to a place where he is now confident that it is the Lord who is saying, "Go out there and conquer," right? So he gathers men who were going to obviously go to battle with him. And the scriptures tell us that he started off with 32,000 men. And then God immediately said, "We're actually going to reduce this number. By 22, we're going to end up with 10,000, because I don't want you guys to think that you won the victory because of your own strength and because of your own effort, right? And because of your own might." But then also again, God says, 10,000 is still a lot, ne? And this is where you just realize, no, the mathematics of God, yeah. Sometimes in the natural, it does not math, right? So he reduces the number. He gives Gideon an instruction for the men to do an activity. And after that activity, he says, I think we can end up with 300 men. So go to battle with 300 men. And if you continue reading the scripture, you then realize that they went on the day of battle. They stood before the Midianites, and they did not even have to fight, right? They just blew a horn and threw some jars, and that confused the Midianites, and they basically won the victory. And this, guys, just reminds us that you don't need an extra degree. You don't need to look, significantly different than you already are in order for you to get that opportunity. You don't need, you don't need extra. You don't need more numbers, to grow your business. Just as an example, on social media, you don't need that extra thing that you are doubting yourself with when it comes to pursuing the things that God has put in your heart, when it comes to pursuing the things that you desire, the big things that you really, really want to achieve. All you need to do is to partner with God, trust and believe that it will not be by power, it will not be by might, it will be by the Spirit, it will be by the favor of Almighty God. And then lastly, it's competition time, guys. So I think this is basically just, guys, to celebrate the 1,000 subscribers that have the 1,000+ subscribers that have been onboarded onto this channel. And I just want to basically say thank you to you guys. And for that, I am running a competition that will afford you the opportunity to get a complimentary coaching session with me, be it on personal finances, or you are starting a business and you just want someone to, nudge and ask you the right questions around the decision to start a business, or you are a student and you just want, career advice or career guidance rather. Those are the 3 categories of coaching that I will be offering. So I'm opening up, 3 complimentary tickets for a session with me. And these are the instructions. I'm going to read them so that I don't miss anything out. So these are the instructions that you need to abide by to stand a chance to win one of the 3 complimentary coaching sessions, right? The first one is, how did you come to know about this channel? So Money Sense with Tendodlo. And then the second thing that you need to comply with is you need to mention the biggest money lesson you have learned from this channel. And then lastly, you need to share this video with someone in your community. And if this is your kind of content, please do subscribe, share, and like this video. And in the comment section, you can go ahead and do the things that I've asked you to do to basically enter the competition. And I will be announcing in probably the next 2 videos who the winners are. Thank you so much. Bye.